Hi everybody, welcome to the Journey Back with Tiffany Hunt. Today I want to go over the homework that I gave you. Also, just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I am a mother of two, a 7-year-old girl and a 9-month-old boy. I'm also a wife of almost 12 years. It'll be 12 years in December. I am 36 years old. I have a ministerial background. You know, I've been a minister. I've preached on the streets. I've preached in the pulpit. I have done one-on-one sessions with people in reference to helping them reach certain goals and speaking to them about what their situation is and offering advice and insight, a different point of view to their situation to help them solve it. I am a licensed cosmetologist. And so I, have plenty of different hats that I wear. I'm just excited about sharing my life and my journey with you guys and helping you guys to move through your journeys. I want to say that what this is not is a beat up on Christians and to tear people apart. That is not my goal. That is not my intention. The reason why I'm giving the information I'm giving is because unlike a lot of people in that particular sect, I feel like you have the right to know the truth and then make an informed decision. If you choose to remain a Christian after being informed, that is completely up to you. If you choose not to, it's completely up to you. However you choose to live your life is on you, but you do have options. You don't have to be stuck where you are if that's not somewhere you want to be. For me personally, I had moments years ago, like over a decade ago, where I felt like, and this is when I was deep in the church, I was preaching on the streets with an amp and a microphone and telling people to come out of their sinful lives and stop touching women and, all kinds of crazy foolishness that I was doing, condemning people about their choices in their lives. And that is not a healthy way to live or a healthy way of being, because you're tearing somebody apart at the seams and just focusing on what's wrong with them and what you think they need to fix, and what you think is unhealthy in their lives. And for me, I just want people to get to a place of health and wholeness. But at that point in time in my life, I just felt like there's got to be something more. There's got to be something deeper, like something is missing, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't, get right into anything else. The church that I was in at the time, I knew and I sensed within myself that I wasn't going to be able to get to wherever I needed to go without separating myself from that particular ministry, which is what I did. I spoke to the leaders about it, and literally the pastor preached me into hell for like an hour, and told me I was going to hell, and why had God shown him so much about me in ministry, and why had God shown him this about me and shown him that about me. But one thing that, some of the things that stuck out to me in reference to that particular individual is he could see all these things about me in ministry, but he couldn't see that his wife was lonely and needed him to be home more. He couldn't see that his children needed more attention from him. He couldn't see his self. He could only see the benefits of some of the giftings that I had to be beneficial in a financial way or whatever way to him and to the particular church that I was a part of. And so I wasn't rude or nasty or disrespectful to them, because they hadn't up until that point been nasty or rude to me. Well, no, I will take that back. Excuse me. There were some nasty or rude moments, because a lot of times in the church, if you don't do things just so, or do it the way everybody else is doing it, something is wrong with you. You're being sinful. You're not doing it right. People are rebuking you and telling you what's wrong with you and telling you to get in line and telling you to take instructions like you're a child. And so to me, that alludes to being disrespectful. It's just disrespectful and it's rude. And mishandling people, and being spiritually and mentally abusive to people. all in the name of Jesus. And and so then I moved to another ministry, and I think I didn't maybe realize how wounded or hurt I was, but I had, once bitten, twice shy. And that the previous ministry wasn't the first ministry I was in where someone had hurt me. Like I've been through, most people go to the church and they accept Christ. And for me, this is my same experience. And this goes to the first question that I asked you guys. What state of mind were you in when you accepted Christ? And for most people, I'm not saying everybody, because there's always, exceptions to the rule. You're in a broken place. You're in a place of turmoil. You're searching for answers. You're looking for something spiritual because physical things aren't working, and you're hoping that something can fix it. Something spiritual will fix it. And then you go to the church because that's where the majority of people go. They go to the church and they're in a vulnerable place, and there are people that prey on that. Preachers prey on that. Parishioners prey on it. And some people, excuse me guys, unknowingly prey on you because you're in a weak and you're in a vulnerable place. You're crying out and you're reaching out for something deeper, and you're getting not what you bargained for. It's like a circular, for an example, a circular can come to your house, and you'll look at the sale paper, a sale paper circular, it'll come to your house. You'll look at the sale and say, oh, I'm going to go to the store and get such and such. You get to the store and you get there and they don't have that. They have the item, but they don't have the particular brand that they were advertising. So they have baited you in, gotten you into the door and switched it so that they're giving you something else. And a lot of times that's what we get in the church. We're advertised that, oh, it's this loving place, and oh, this is where you come to get healed. Oh, this is a place that you can come to for refuge. Oh, we're a family. Oh, we're extended family, and we care so much about you. We care about your well-being. We care that you're doing well. And a lot of times that's not what you get, or you may get pieces of that. But then you get other stuff mixed in, like you were already damaged and broken when you came in. And a lot of times before you leave, you're more damaged and broken because you're dealing with damaged and broken people that don't know how to get undamaged and unbroken. And so they're damaging you further. And when you really think about it, a lot of times in the church, we take our brains off. We don't think about the information we're being told. We just moved by our feelings and not even our intuition tapping into the innermost thoughts and our innermost answers. We are literally just going by our feelings, which can really get you in trouble for the most part, and does get you in trouble most of the time. It ends up taking you somewhere you don't want to be. And so it was just traumatic at the end of the day. Basically being in a place where I'm looking for refuge, looking for love, looking for an extended family. And there were warnings and there were times when my family said different things to me, like, well, that seems real controlling, or it seems a little bit occult-like, or it seems like that's a little bit too much, like that's too much church, or that's too much that. But I was all in. That can be my personality a lot of times. Like I'm either all in or I'm all out. And so, I understand that that's kind of the way I move a lot of times. And sometimes that can be scary for the people around me, especially the people that care about me. They want to make sure I'm not making a bad decision, or a decision that's going to bankrupt and mess up my life. And although the church had its pitfalls and challenges for me, I met some phenomenal people along the way. I've connected with people along the way, people that I'm still in touch with to this day. And then there are people that are in my inner circle that I'm still connected with that don't necessarily understand the current journey that I'm on. But what I want to do, like I said, my reasoning for doing this is not necessarily just to pull the cover off of the lies that you've been told in the church. And some of the lies you're being told is because other people don't know. They're just passing that ignorance down from one person to the next person. And that goes into the second question that I asked you. what information did you get before accepting Christ? You know, most of us didn't really get information. We were told, okay, you read the Bible, you start with the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You look at the life of Jesus, and then you go back to the Old Testament, forgive me guys. You go back to the Old Testament, you know, and you look at that to see how creation was created and all these things. And then you look at Psalms and you look at Proverbs, and you base your life on this whole book. And then you listen to what your pastor says, you listen to your leader, you go to him for counsel, you go to him for all these things. Like, this is basically the information that most people get in Christendom, you know, and you're told to study, you know, get a Strong's Concordance so you can, you know, have an understanding of the words and have an understanding of the scriptures, get you a biblical dictionary. These are things that I have, you know, and things that I had when I was in Christianity, and things that I utilized to study. But then there was a time, probably about a year and a half ago, where I said, okay, I have based my life completely on this book, and I can't 100% say who the author is. Now, I know people say, you know, this is the inspired word of God. This is the words that are inspired by God. Scriptures that are inspired by God. And it's like, okay, which God was it inspired by? And then that's when the layers started to come off. That's when the veil started to come off. And things started to fall apart that I had been told. And then the other part is, we put so much trust in a pastor or a leader. But the thing is, you're letting somebody rule and run your life who's not even properly ruling and running and managing their own lives. If you look at their lives, a lot of times their lives are raggedier than a mango seed. Raggedier than a mango seed. And if anybody has ate some mango, you know that seed is just all ripped up and shredded. It's all ripped up and shredded. And you're listening to people that are telling you to just give until you give out. You know, I've been in that place where I've paid my tithes, I've paid my offering, I've given $1,000. I was a single woman, you know, and not married, and just giving everything I could to the church, and giving everything that I could to ministry, with no thought and no care for my house. Because what does the scripture say? Single woman cares for the things of God, how she may please God, and a married woman care for the things of this world, how she may please her husband. And so, you know, I took a lot of those scriptures to heart. A lot of us take these things literally, but we are not critically thinking when people are giving us this information. We are not critically thinking how far-fetched some of these stories are. And they don't really make any sense. They don't make any logical sense when you really think about it. And we just have not given much thought to something that we have based our whole life on. And some of us, it has been passed down from our grandparents and our parents, and then to us. And then others of us, we just kind of went off on our own. Because although my family has, you know, religious beliefs and spiritual beliefs, and I didn't grow up entrenched in the church, going to the church every time the doors open. But I did in my 20s find myself being like that. Every time the doors of the church were open, I was there. I was giving money. I was giving my time. I was giving of myself. And I didn't take the time to really learn about myself and build a relationship with myself. So I was looking for something else outside of me to fix the pain, to help me to deal with whatever was going on in my life that I didn't like. And so you just go and get your Jesus shot on Sunday. You just go and get shot up on Wednesday. If you have Bible study on Friday, or prayer meeting on Friday, or a shut-in on Saturday. You know, I was going to church so many doggone days out of the week. I can't even, guys, I can't even remember what day that I had off and not go to church, because I was on the praise team. I was ministering. I was teaching. I was teaching this class. I was teaching that class. I was doing this. I was doing that. But I was not doing self-care. You know, and in the church, they make it seem like taking care of yourself is the most sinful, horrible thing you could ever do. You know, and God forbid you take a vacation, you miss church on Sunday. Oh, you had to be sinning. You didn't show up. You didn't make it. And I know my experience is not unique. there are plenty of us that have had this experience, that have been abused at home or had some level of mental or emotional thing going on at home or in childhood, some form of trauma. Most of us have some level of trauma, because even with post-traumatic slave syndrome, they say that the trauma from our ancestors was passed down in our DNA, and a lot of people want to deny it and say that it's not true or whatever, but you have unhealed things that haven't been dealt with, and they affect you today, whether you want to agree with it, whether you want to look into it or not. The truth of the matter is, it is affecting you. And a lot of us, we just do other things to not deal with the pain. And going to church a lot of times will make you feel better. Being around a bunch of people makes you feel better, because then you're not isolated. You don't have to think about your stuff. You don't have to deal with yourself. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, I think I've already answered this one, but it says, how has being in the church helped you from an honest perspective? For me, it's a double-edged sword. One thing that it did honestly help me with was self-examination. But I'm a natural person that's sometimes a little bit of a perfectionist, like I can pick myself apart. And although it's important to be able to examine yourself and see what you need to fix and see what you need to work on and see what you need more development in, it's also important to be able to embrace yourself. And that's the piece that I'm just learning and just working on. And I just started working on probably between the age of 34 and 36. So not as long as I would have liked for it to be. But it is so important to love on yourself. It is so important to embrace the parts of yourself that maybe are not your favorite parts, but if you love yourself enough, it'll help you to make the necessary changes and take the necessary steps to not do self-destructive things and not have self-destructive, self-deprecating behavior. The next question is, who are you based on Christianity? Like, if you look at your life, who are you based on Christianity? Like, if you look at your life and you look at what the word says about how your life is supposed to look, are you measuring up, or are you in a constant state of falling short? You're in a constant state of not being enough. You're in a constant state of being a filthy rag. You're a constant state of only if Jesus came in and only if his blood washes you, are you good enough? And for me, personally, I'm not really going to even answer that question in reference to me, because I'm not a Christian and I have no desire to measure myself based on a book that people put together in order to manipulate and control. Like, that is technically what the Bible was created for. At the Council of Nicaea, with Constantine, the book was put together to manipulate and to control a people. And the lie was told for so long till, a lot of times people lie so long till they done forgot what the truth is. And that is what happened with Christianity. You can do your own research on it and look into it. And what I will do is I will put a couple of links in the description box so it could help you to maybe start your journey in reference to looking at some things. One resource that I think is a phenomenal resource if you're not a reader per se is looking at, what is the name of the documentary? Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like, you need to see all of them. It helps you learn about history. It helps you learn about who we were and who our ancestors were before they came over here and all those things. It gives you a little bit of insight and kind of helps you to dip your toe into something new in reference to who you are, rather than the thugs and the R&B people and the reality stars and we're only good in the arts and we're only good in football. No, we were the creators of modern science. We actually gave Europeans information on mathematics, physics, philosophy. We brought them help when they were dying, okay? And they just messed us over, which is what they do and what they've done for centuries. And so the last question I have is, who are you based on your heredity and your heritage? Well, for me, who I am based on my heritage is I am an African woman. I am a powerful woman. I am a queen mother. I am strong. I am nurturing. I am loving. I am smart. I have gifts to give this world in this time. I can see beyond what is naturally there. I have relationship with my ancestors. They speak with me. They talk with me. I am powerful, and I am standing and embracing that power. I am so excited about these conversations that I'm going to be having with you guys. And I just want you guys to reach out to me if you have any questions about anything in particular. If you have feedback, I want to hear your feedback. I am open to feedback about the topics that I am discussing. I know for some people this is very controversial, and I understand that when you learn the truth about Christianity, for me, to be honest, the bottom fell out. And I was like, who do I trust now, and how do I trust people? But I also understand that some people are sharing and telling you to become a Christian in their ignorance, and they don't know any better. And so they're only sharing what their experience was, which is what I was doing. I was saying, okay, my life has turned around. Things are better for me. But they're better simply because you choosing to make better choices. And I'm not saying there weren't some spiritual shifts, but it definitely wasn't because of Jesus. It's just that simple. 9 times out of 10. And I'm also not here to minimize your experience with God or minimize things that have happened to you individually or on a personal level. I'm not here to take away any of those things and to say, or to minimize those things and say, oh, your life didn't turn around. Oh, this didn't happen. No, I'm not taking away any of your experience. I'm not taking away any of your stories or any of the things that have occurred with you. I am a person that is not gonna invalidate what your experience has been. But I'm just sharing what my experience has been and how you can turn your life upside down in a phenomenal way by really fully tapping in and learning who you are inside out, and not living outside and reaching for somebody else outside of you to fix what's going on or to help you to deal with what's going on the inside of you. I thank you guys for giving me your time today. I ask that you please share the video out today. I am giving you fuel for thought each time that we speak. And I want you to ponder some of these answers to the questions. And I want to hear your stories. Please share with me your stories in the comments. Please reach out to me. I apologize because I don't think that I did put my email in the description box on the first video. And guys, I apologize. I'm just getting into this YouTube thing and trying to make sure that I give you all my information. So I will make sure to do that on this video. And again, I thank you guys for your time. Until next time, again, think about who you are and tap into your God-like self. Love you guys. Have a wonderful one. Goodbye.